Hi, hello everyone. So today we'll start another subject, that is microfinance. So first I'll give introduction to this subject. So this subject, it will come in your soft core. So it is 2.7. See, 2.7 microfinance. So it has 5 chapters. So chapter number 1 is introduction to finance. Chapter number 2 is financial institution, which you have studied in Indian banking also. From third chapter it will be microcredit. Next, the fourth chapter is self-help groups, that is SHG, and next is functioning of FHGs. So simply here in the microfinance, in the first chapter you will be knowing about the introduction to finance. um, Introduction to finance. Second chapter all about the financial institutions like Grameen banks, commercial banks, types of commercial banks, and lead banks, and about sustainable development, about NABARD, about CDB, about ICICI, about SFC, about Grameen banks, commercial banks, etc. In the third chapter you will be discussing about microcredit. Next, self-help groups and functioning of self-help groups. So in microfinance, my part of syllabus is 1.5 chapter. So in 5 chapters, 1.5 chapter I should complete, and the remaining chapters will be done by Lokesh sir. So we'll start today the first chapter. So in risk management, still we have the last chapter and one practical method. On one method we have to discuss practical problems. So soon I'll start the practical one, and the theory will be assigned for doing seminars. Okay, so we'll start the first chapter under microfinance, that is introduction to finance. So finance, as we have studied so many times in UG also, you have studied the finance, introduction to finance in financial management, and BLO, that is banking and law operations, and in PG also you have studied in advanced financial management. In Indian banking also you have studied about finance. So let's glance what is meant by this finance. So finance is simply the provision of money. So when we need money, when we are when we have access to the money, to anything, to start our business, to invest our money somewhere, to start a contract, to pay to someone else, to deposit in bank, or for taking loan, for providing or for pledging, etc. So whatever our need is there, for that if we are access to the money, that is called as finance. So it is a science, it is a systematic management of creation of money. So availability of money is not only meant by finance, but also creation of money. So creation of money here means interest. We are earning interest on our deposits. We are earning interest, dividends on our investment. So that is creation of money, creation and study of money. Banking, so that is what in earning interest. Next, credit. If you are giving credit to someone, you will be charging certain percentage of interest. Investments comes shares, debentures, bonds, foreign currency investments, FDI, etc. Next, assets and liabilities of a firm. So assets can also raise the funds. By selling the assets, we can raise our funds. So for paying the liabilities, we need finance. So this is what is called as finance, that is the provision of fund as we need. It is a scientific management of creation of money, banking, credit, investment, assets and liabilities, etc. So here there are some types of finance means how can we raise finance for our business. So first important type of finance which is very popular is shares and debentures. So I don't think that I need to explain how we are raising capital with the help of selling the shares and debentures. So you all know, as we are commerce students, we know this. So shares and debentures. So the very popular or very well known rising method of finance is for the business concerns, for the organization, for the companies, for the individuals, is for the entrepreneurs, is raising the capital by selling the shares or by selling the debentures. So here in shares we have many types, that is equity shares, we have preference shares. So equity shareholders, they are called as the owners of the company, and for them dividends will be pay off at the end of paying all creditors of the company, as they are the creditors, as they are the real owners of the company. If another way of raising the finance is debenture. So debenture, if your company is not satisfied with the capital rise from the shares, you can call for the debentures. So debentures, for debenture holders also, you have to pay a certain percentage of interest to them, so according to the debenture holders contract. So next method, again it is a very popular method which is done by the big famous and the large industries, is deposits from the public. So the large scale industries, they will normally the public sector large scale industries, they will call for the public for investing in the company for them. So this method is used by the company when they have to pay higher interest rates when they are rising from commercial banks. So if they are rising from commercial banks, say they have to pay 18% or 20% of interest rate on the loan taken. But if they are rising from the public, they may pay them only 10 to 15% of interest on the amount deposited. So it is beneficial for the company to go for deposits from the public other than taking loan from the commercial bank, which involve 18% to 20% of interest payment. So which one is better? Obviously this is better, that rising funds from public and paying them in between 10 and 15% rather than taking loan from the commercial banks paying 18 to 20% of interest. So the companies, the famous and the big industry companies, in order for the lower interest payments, they will opt this deposits from the public. And obviously if you are taking money from the public, you have to obey certain rules and regulations from the RBI. So next is foreign currency term loan. So foreign currency term loan assistance, it is given for the importers and the exporters. So when we are doing our business irrespective of the border, when we are doing a global business, so for them, for the importers and the exporters, this type of foreign currency loan assistance is provided by the commercial banks for the purpose of import of machinery. So if you want to import any kind of plant and machinery, or you want some kind of know-how information, some kind of assistance, technical know-how information, know-how information for paying the fees to that, also you can get foreign currency term loans from the commercial bank. So this is for the importers and the exporters who are doing the international business. So don't worry, for this meanings and notes I will put in group PDF form. So next is venture capital. So what is venture? Venture means business only. So for starting the business, the finance provided, that is called as venture capital. So here, like partnership only, there will be venturers. So there will be two or more than two persons who will be called as venturers. For the capital invested by them, it is called as venture capital. So for starting their business, specifically giving loans to them, that is called as venture capital. One thing here, it should be noted that it involves a high rate of interest. So the commercial banks will charge high rate of interest for providing the venture capital for the new entrepreneurs, new entrants who wants to start the business, who have more than two venturers. For them, it is the commercial banks will provide the loans for a higher rate of interest, that is called as venture. That is the way of raising finance with the help of venture capital. Next, the very famous, that is lease financing. So we know lease is an arrangement between lessor and the lessee, where there is permission for us to use and control the asset, but we are not the owners of the asset. So we can able to use and control that asset, but we are not the real owners for that specific type of asset. It is a kind of renting a house. So the landowners will rent the house to us. So we will use that house. We will stay there, but we are not the real owners. So that is called as lease financing. So for lease financing, for certain kind of assets, on the basis of lease also, the banks will provide the finance. Next is euro issue. So euro it is dealt in European Stock Exchange. Again, this is for the persons who are doing the business all over the world. So euro issue, if you are doing business all over the world and you need euro. So euro, it is a kind of currency which can be dealt in any part of the world. So if you have euro, you can do transaction with this euro in any part of the world other than India. So other than India, you can all over the world you can use euro. So for if you are a businessman who is traveling all over the world, who has his business all over the world, he can get euro assistance or euro issues from the abroad banks. Next is hire purchase. So it is also I think it is all the meaning of a hire purchase. So it is a kind of selling the asset on the basis of installments. So we can purchase any asset and we have to pay it on the installment basis. So until and unless we will pay the last installment, we are not the owners. So when we are paying the last installment, we are the ownership transfers to the payer of the installment. So this is called as hire purchase. And so if you don't have money at a time to purchase any asset, you can purchase that asset in the form of hire purchase. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಮನಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅಸೆಟ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, you can go for, instead of you are purchasing at a time and paying on cash, you can go for the hire purchasing for bringing the kind of machineries or the kind of assets you want in your business to start the business. This is called as hire purchasing. Next is government subsidy. So government subsidy, this subsidy is only for limited type of businesses, like in our India. So the subsidy will be provided for medium scale and the small scale industries, and also for the agriculturist, for the cooperative societies and related businesses. So government subsidy, this is the subsidy or the amount which is granted by the central and the state government. So this is a kind of free fund for extended by the central and the state governments for the small scale and the medium scale industries, and also for the agriculturist. Next is deferred payment guarantee assistance. So deferred means it we have not paid it, we are postponing it, we are postponing the payment, that is called as deferred payment. So in the domestic country, that is India, and foreign countries, in any country, if a person is doing business, so he is doing business internationally. Now the Indian banks will provide one deferred guarantee assistance, that this so and so person by name is a guaranteed person. So Indian banks are providing guarantee for the payment of a person, that is a businessman, to a foreign bank. So as this person is a resident in India, Indian bank is providing assistance, that is it is providing guarantee that this person is a guaranteed person, he will pay the payment in future to the foreign bank. So that is deferred payment guarantee assistance. Underwriting assistance. So underwriting, who are called as underwriters? What is underwriting commission? You have studied this in CA, corporate administration, in first year of your BCom. So underwriting, so after allotting the shares, after allotting the debentures, after publishing the prospectus, so still we need capital, still we need some capital. Assume that your plan was to sell 10,000 shares. Already 9,000 shares have been sold with the help of prospectors allotting shares, but still 1,000 shares are pending. So these underwriters, they are kind of agents. They are kind of agents. It can be a person, individual, or it can be a financial institution who are having that specific business. So what they will do, ಇವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವ್ರು ಬಂದು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, they will give promise that they will at any cost they will sell this 1,000 share and they will bring the amount to the company. So promising, giving 100% surety that they will sell the remaining shares of the company, those persons are called as underwriters, and paying fees for them, it is called as underwriting commission. So here underwriting assistance. So underwriting assistance is the fees should be paid to the financial institutions or to the agents. So they are the helpers for us to raise the remaining finance. So that is also another kind of raising the finance, that is underwriting process, underwriting assistance. Next is underwriting by way of direct subscription. So here, when we are establishing, when we have put a beginning to our business, first ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, prospectus. So what is this prospectus? Prospectus, it is an invitation to the public. Prospectus, it is an invitation to the public to subscribe these shares, to purchase these shares in our company, debentures, etc. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ ಇಂದ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ ಇಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ನ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಬಂದು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, 10,000 ಇತ್ತು, 9,000 ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಸ್ ಇಂದ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಇನ್ನು 1,000 ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇನ್ನು ಎಂಟಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ the public with the help of this document. Prospectus in the company prospectus in the ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಬದಲು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರೆಯೋದು ಕಂಪನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಶೇರ್ಸ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್. Next type is a soft loan assistance. So here soft loan assistance means this loan assistance is provided by IDBI. IDBI. So Industrial Development Bank of India, they will provide one soft loan scheme. So idu soft loan scheme, this is provided for modernization and rehabilitation of industries. So rehabilitation ಏನಾದರೂ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಲೋನ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ IDBI. And if the companies are backward, in order to improve them, in order to bring modernization in the industries, they will provide a soft loan scheme. Next, assistance through technical development fund. So this is one contract, this is one underwriting which was introduced in the year March 1976. March 1976, one agreement was made for the purpose of things like technical know-how for foreign consultancy services, for balancing the equipments, for full capacity utilization, for technical upgradation. So assistance through technical development fund, it was introduced in March 1976. So March 1976 in the ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ನ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ is only for technical know-how. So like this is related to technical development fund only. So if you want some kind of training relating to how to use the machineries, that is technical know-how from foreign countries in the ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿನ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ know-how. Next, it is for foreign consultancy. So if you want consultancy for any matter, like for how to manage the risk, or how to raise the capital, how to attract the customer, so it can be anything, foreign consultancy relating to technology only. Next, it is for full capacity utilization. So you have machines, so machine capacity is manufacturing 1 lakh units per annum. So if you are not utilizing this machine capacity, how can you utilize this machine capacity? So all this information you can get from the foreign countries who have well versed in these technological field. So getting assistance from them, for getting the assistance, the payment will be done by the government. Next is assistance to refinance loan schemes. So for industries, the specific banks, commercial banks will provide long-term, medium-term loans. So for the industrial businessmen, so that is called as assistance from industrial finance. Seed capital assistance. So next is seed capital assistance. So seed capital assistance means this is not for agriculturists. So this is for the new entrepreneurs. So the new entrepreneurs who don't have money to start their business, so putting a seed, so giving a seed, that is giving the first money to start the business, first money to start the business to the new entrepreneurs and providing them needed skills, that is called as seed capital assistance. Last is PACT, Program for the Advancement of Commercial Technology. So this is the contract which is done between Government of India and the USA, signed in the year 1985. So in the year 1985, this agreement, PACT, Program for the Advancement of Commercial Technology, was signed by our country and the USA, United States of America, in the year 1985. For whom this was signed means for Indo-US, for the Indo-US research and development. So if any person from India, any person from USA, they are joining together, they are working as a joint venturers, and they are doing research and development on anything for them, for providing them assistance, for providing them finance, this pact was signed. That is Program for Advancement of Commercial Technology. This can be asked for in the section A, that is abbreviation of PACT. Abbreviation of PACT is Program for Advancement of Commercial Technology. This was signed by Government of India and the USA government for the joint venturers, that is venturer from India and venturer from USA, if they are doing any kind of research and development, so providing assistance for those persons, this pact was signed. So this is all about the types of finance. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me in your group, and I will post the detailed notes of these points in your group. Thank you.